Hello and welcome to my Spellbook profile. Kissimmee Regionals, top 16. Just happened yesterday. I know Judgment was not part of it, unfortunately. But yeah, let's get into the deck profile. I ran one World of Prophecy. A lot of people recently have been cutting the World of Prophecy, but I wouldn't recommend it because honestly, like the Dragon matchup, there's not really much they can do once you have rolled out. They're pretty much, their generic synchros and exegesis are pretty much just dead. The only way they can get over it is with like Star Eater if they have it, or like some sort of back row, and then hopefully you'll just have Wisdom for it. And honestly, the effect it gives you is just insane. Like if you add the two and then like you reveal 4 and they have a huge field, like anything, not just dragons, they have a huge field, like you're probably gonna win the game. It's really good. 2 Priestess. Priestess is huge. There's no reason not to play 2. She's pretty much the greatest card in the deck. She's pretty easy to get off most of the time. If you don't have 3 spellbooks in your hand, wait a turn, you should have 3, and honestly, her effect is just too good to pass up on. 3, Spellbook Magician. This is pretty obvious. He searches everything in the deck. There's nothing to really talk about. He's just Spellbook Magician. Yeah, he's standard. I ran 3 Temperance of Prophecy. Temperance was huge. A lot of people have been cutting 1 or 2 of these to main deck the Kaikus. I don't think it's necessary to main deck the Kaikus, except for the dragons. Unfortunately, all you saw everywhere was just dragons. So it is necessary to main deck the Kaikus now, but I would still keep 3 Temperances in, or at least 2. Don't cut 2. At least keep 2 in, because you're going to need to keep the Priestess in. I would keep the World in also, but put the Kaikus in as well. Temperance is just too good of a card. It lets you special out of your deck. That's stuff that lets you special out of your deck has been getting banned, so it's really important to keep it. And then I did run the Justice. Not a lot of people have been running the Justice at all, but I found it necessary. When I got her off, it helped a lot. It almost won the game every time I got her off. The only time I could say it was a problem was against Boojins, and obviously Boojins are dumb. So, Justice, I like her. She's staying. That's that. On to the spells. We ran, of course, 3 Spellbook of the Secrets, or of Secrets. Just like Spellbook Magician, it's a necessity. You need to have 3. There's no talk about that. It's obvious. 2 Spellbook of the Master. Copies everything you have. Copies Power, copies Secrets, copies even Crescent. You need it. Undeniable. It's awesome. 2 Grand Spellbook Tower, because it's Tower, this card. When it gets to late game, this card will win you the game against anybody that doesn't have excessive draw power. This is just, when your opponent is drawing 1 card and you're drawing 2, it wins you the games flat out, no questions asked, because you just have that hand advantage and you can play the cards that they don't have the chance to play. I ran 3 Spellbook of Fate. A lot of people have been having this at 2. I thought it was necessary to have it 3 because, honestly, it's pretty much the greatest card. A lot of people think, well, you can just recycle a Tower if you need to, or banish it and get it back with Eternity. I think it's necessary to have it 3 because the stuff that you want to be recycling with Tower is the stuff that's going to get back the more essential things. I think 3 Fate in the deck is good, because if you really need to recycle for 3 Fates, then that game is going to be super long, and that's a good thing that you have the Tower going for you in the first place. 3 Fates is good because you don't have to worry about them as much, because you have that 3rd one. I ran 3 Spellbook Library of the Crescent. A lot of people have been saying, like, you don't really need to go off first turn, so like some of them are either running 0 or 1, and I think it's just a necessity to have 3, because you can play at all stages of the game. The way that World was working, you have less spellbooks in your graveyard less often. It's possible to get this off. You can copy it with Master. It's possible to get off through all stages of the game. It's good. I like it at 3. 2 Spellbook of Eternity. There's no real question about that. You banish stuff with Fate. You banish stuff with the Priestess. You have to get it back somehow. You can recycle with Tower. That's pretty much it. I ran 2 Wisdom and 2 Power. A lot of people think that would be a one-of card, but I felt it necessary to have two. My deck count was 40 before I put the extra count of each of these in. If anything, I would main deck Fiendish Chain instead of the other one of these. That's pretty much it. I liked it. I found having the other one, like I said with Fate, if you have the numbers and you can sacrifice room elsewhere in your deck for stuff you want to play, the number game is good because you don't have to worry about getting them back. I ran one Spellbook of Life. Most people think one is good, not like the other stuff. One is good. You could run two theoretically. I mean, it's just a thing that most people just find you need it at one. I like it at one. There's no real reason to play two, but it's up to you. And I did main the Star Hall. Not a lot of people, in fact, almost nobody mains the Star Hall anymore. The only reason I have this mained is because if you get a first turn, you're ahead of the game, like, almost no matter what. If you get Star Hall and 3 other spellbooks that start the searches in the deck, like Secrets and Master, and you have Star Hall, you're going to pretty much have an advantage the entire game. They may have to MST it. If they MST it at high enough counters, you're getting a Priestess to your hand. It's good. I like it at 1. I sided it out in almost everything that wasn't the mirror match. It's a great card if you get it. Another thing I could say about the power and wisdom that you could cut is for a third duality. I ran 2. I liked it at 2. And then Book of Moon, because it's Book of Moon. It's sweet. Out of the traps, I ran 2 Phoenix Wingman Blast. Versatile, useful for everything. Helps you get World out of your hand. That is one of the hugest things. Helps you get World out of your hand, so you can life it out of your graveyard. Great card. 2 Mirror Force. This was important. It helps so much to have protection because of the now what used to be double stable cards are now at 1. So yeah, those double stable cards. Bottomless Torrential Compulse, pretty obvious, and then the one of Warning. Yeah. Onto the extra deck, pretty much. Extra deck's not really important. There you go. There's a few other cards over here, another Shining Elf, Herald. I threw a Levier in there, not super important. You could put Degusta Phoenix, Gachi, not the most important cards in the deck. You'll almost never go into anything. Now, onto the side deck. Like I was saying earlier, the way the format is now, Kaiku's pretty important. I sided him in every game, no matter what. So, obviously, if it's a card that you find you have to side in 9 matches in a row, you probably should be maining it. Kaiku is really important. I definitely made a mistake by siding him at 3. You could main 2 or 1 and be okay with it. Siding all 3 of them was a big problem. I did have the Jaugen. Jaugen was cool. He helped against Dark Worlds. Not much to say about that. Xyz Encore is a great card. I'm probably not going to side it again next regional. I only sided it in once, and that was against Cancellers. It's good, but it's not great, and it doesn't help that much. So, it's important to have cards that will really be able to impact every matchup that you have. Xyz Encore, I didn't really find that necessary. I could have put it in against Bujins. I felt like I needed other stuff, and that's really all I have to say about that. It's a good card, but it's not necessary. Phoenix Chain. I ran 2 Phoenix Chain in the side deck. Like I said earlier, more stuff about this, getting rid of the spellbooks. Wisdom Power, this I would put in. Really good. I only sided in like twice. It was against Insectors and something else, but it's definitely helpful. I wouldn't mind maining it. I ran 3 Rivalry. Pretty good when everything in your deck's a Spellcaster and other people are running stuff like, not Spellcasters, like Evil Swarm and Concealer. Mind Drain. I ran 2 Mind Drain. Mind Drain's pretty good. It helps against, a bunch of stuff. You can't summon Priestess if Mind Drain's on the field. You can't summon Dragons from your hand if Mind Drain's on the field. Yeah, pretty sweet. Soul Drain. This kind of goes along with the Kaiku idea. Getting the whole graveyard. Everything in this format does stuff with their graveyard. It's a problem. You need to not let them do that. It's bad. And then 2, Royal Decree. Because, yeah. Other traps that people are going to slide in against you hurt. So, Royal Decree is pretty good. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. I hoped everybody liked my my profile, my deck profile. Top 16 Kissimmee regionals in Kissimmee, Florida. Really excited about the next ban list. Hopefully we'll see this card back. Hopefully we will see this card back. I'm hoping to see this at 1. I'll be super excited if it's at 1. I know Priestess and Master are getting reprinted, so it's going to be cheaper of a deck. So I'm hoping this gets unbanned to 1. That would be awesome. Other than that, subscribe to my channel, like it if you liked it, comment if you have anything to say. I'd like everybody's opinions on it. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, what you didn't like, what I could have done better, what you do. I want to talk about it. I want to talk about this deck profile. I want to bring it to my next regionals. There's no regionals left in my area before the ban list hits, so if this card's back, obviously this is going in the deck. Anything else I don't really have to say. So yeah, that's it.